This video will walk you through a complete disassembly and reassembly of the Twister T4 trimmer. We won't need any hand tools for this process, but we will need a regular piece of paper to help with the blade adjustment later. Also, once we have the T4 disassembled, we'll take a moment to clean the blades using a microfiber cloth with a mild degreaser. Step 1. Remove the hopper. Magnets hold it in place, so all you have to do is pull. Step 2. Remove the tumbler safety cover by loosening the two knobs on the back. It's easy to pop out of place using one hand on the bottom as you see here. Step 3. Remove the belt cover. Simply loosen the knob and take it away. Step 4. Disengaging the drive wheel. Pull out and twist the locking pin 90 degrees. Pull down a little on the piston and rotate the locking pin back to where it started. Now we just continue to pull down on the piston until the locking pin falls back into place, locking the drive wheel away from the tumbler. Step 5. Remove the tumbler. Be careful and support it with both hands to avoid any damage. Step 6. Removing the drive belt. Loosen the lock knob, push the control box in, remove the belt, then let the control box back down. Step 7. Removing the control box. We find it best to hold the electrical plug with our left hand first. That way, when we slide the control box off the guide pin, the cord doesn't get caught anywhere. Next is Step 8, removing the vacuum shroud. First, we have to flip the T4 onto its front side. Disengage both of the shroud locking pins. Now we can reach in underneath with one hand to help support and pull the shroud away. We should be very careful and aware of where the blades are during this process so we won't cut ourselves. Flip the T4 back upright. Step 9. Releasing the blade adjuster crossbar. We'll start by removing one of the lock knobs. Now we'll support the bar with one hand while we remove the other knob, and then lower the bar down out of the way. Again, we must be very careful to not cut ourselves while working on or near these blades. They are very sharp, so please be aware and don't cut yourself. Now the bed knife can be flipped up out of the way so we'll have access to the real blade for cleaning. At this point, you could decide to pressure wash your T4 if you like. However, in this video, we're just going to carefully wipe the blades clean using a microfiber cloth and some mild degreaser. Once everything is clean and dry, it's time to put it all back together. Step 1. Turn the bed knife into position, flip the adjuster bar back up, and secure it tightly with the lock knobs. Step 2. Adjusting the blades. For this, you'll need a regular piece of paper. First, position the real blade as shown here so there will be a contact reference point at each end of the bed knife. We'll loosen the adjustment knobs to move the bed knife away from the real blades. Whenever adjusting these knobs, always make sure you turn them the same amount. You can feel and hear the knobs clicking to help you with this. Continue to retract the bed knife from the real blade until your paper can easily move between them. Next, we'll carefully tighten the knobs back down until the blades just barely make contact. You'll feel a slight amount of pressure in the knobs. At this point, the paper will not pass through anymore. Next, we'll loosen both knobs evenly until the paper just passes through again. In our experience, this is usually about 10 clicks. Step 3. Installing the vacuum shroud. Flip the T4 onto its front. Slide the shroud into position. Engage both the shroud locking pins and return the T4 to its upright position. Step 4 is installing the control box. The goal here is to make sure this channel on the control box lines up with this bar, and this hole lines up with this guide pin. Step 5. Install the drive belt by first pushing the control box forward. Place the belt into position with the belt teeth in the grooves of the pulleys. Then let the control box fall back into position and tighten the lock knob. The weight of the control box itself should create the correct amount of tension on the belt. Step 6. Install the tumbler. Use both hands and be very careful. Your tumbler is a very precise component, and if damaged, your T4 performance may be greatly reduced or possibly disabled. When inserting the tumbler, the brush creates a little pressure from the side, so use your hand to pull it back into alignment as you feed it through. Align the drive wheel with the groove on the tumbler. Then release the locking pin to let the drive wheel come back into contact with the tumbler. When in the correct position, this should all move together smoothly. Step 7. Install the belt cover and tighten the belt cover knob. Step 8. Installing the tumbler safety cover. There are 2 hooks on the bottom of the cover. Make sure they are aligned and sit properly onto this bar. Now you can screw in the safety cover knobs, finger tight. Step 9. Install the hopper. Magnets make this really easy. Just make sure the contact points are aligned as you see here. It's time for the final blade adjustment, which is done using our ears. Plug your T4 in and turn on the blades. It should sound something like this. Start backing off both adjustment knobs at the same amount of clicks until you hear the blade contact stop. Now carefully tighten one side until you hear a slight contact, then back off 1 click. Repeat the same on the other side. And finally, tighten both back the same amount, returning even contact along the entire blade. Your Twister T4 trimmer is ready to use again.